Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Football Brief. I'm your host, Aaron, all the way in New York. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Brad, from across the pond in sunny Manchester. Let's get into this. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you? Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. Clinkety clink clink.
A little bit of Salford rum.
Gonna
It's not rum.
say,
It's a coffee, but it's in a rum mug tonight. I'm getting in a festive feel.
on that, how weird is it that Christmas has just sort of crept up? I was walking around a couple of shops earlier in the week, and like everything's gone full Christmas mode. I'm like,
Mate,
what?
It has, but you know what? Like, I'm ready for this year's Christmas. Last year I was a bit like, don't know if it was maybe a COVID hangover. I don't know what it was, but last year I wasn't that enthused. This year I'm really feeling the Christmas spirit. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no more Grinch.
No more Grinch. No more Grinch. I'm back, baby.
Good. So today's episode, we're back, episode 5. We're going to go back to our usual format. We're going to give one or two brief opinions to each other, and then we're going to jump straight from that into a brief discussion. And it is, drumroll, return of the Football Brief spinner. So our brief discussion is going to be left in the fate of our spinner. So we have 4 topics that we've got down to potentially discuss, and the spinner will pick the topic for us. Then once we finish that, we're going to go on to our final segment, which is going to be the launch of something that's been hotly anticipated, the table of insignificant London clubs. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's based on something that you said a few weeks back. So,
Spurs are the most insignificant London club. Do you know what? I can't wait for this. I've been looking forward to this table. You've been goading me with it, telling me that it's on the way. It's finally here. So yeah, let's bang on.
we'll get into that, and then we'll end. So that's the show. So let's get into brief opinions. You going first, or shall I?
Yeah, man, I'll shoot first. So, do you know what? I was going to ask you a brief opinion on this, but instead I'm not. I'm going to ask you on something else. What I do want to do is just make a little mention to Lee Carsley on his exit out of the role as England's senior team manager.
Sorry.
I wish him well in his back in his job with the under-21s. England have played Ireland tonight. Did absolutely nothing really until Ireland got a red card in the 51st or 52nd minute. Went on to win 5-0. So Gordon, Gallagher, first goals for England. Well done, guys. Well done. And yeah, just get Tuchel in, please. Let us win something. So I just wanted to do a little mention because I basically just sat and watched England win 5-0 in the last 35 minutes, 40 minutes of a game. So yeah. So my first question to you, and the context around this is that it was on the overlap. There was some, don't know if it was Opta or some kind of like data mining statistician predictor that has come out and done the percentages of who's going to win. I think Liverpool are in the 60s, City are in the 30s somewhere. What I want your opinion on is Arsenal apparently have a 4% chance of winning the league. Do you agree?
4. Is that 4?
4% chance. 9 points behind at the top they are. 9 points behind the Liverpool at the top. So, yeah, 4%. What do you think?
See, that's interesting stats. I think the Premier League is wide open, and I know at the minute Liverpool are sort of, I don't want to say running away with it, but they're way ahead. But I just feel that your Man Cities of the world, your Chelseas, your Arsenals are still very much there. So I think 4% is a bit harsh. I mean, it's funny because you know my thoughts about Arsenal, the current Arsenal anyway. So yeah, I think they've got a slightly better chance than 4%.
I don't think they have.
You don't think they have?
I think that's bang on. I think for once the supercomputer has got it right. I think that's bang on. 4%.
Where's this supercomputer from? Like, what does it generate? Has it ever been right in its history of ever synthesizing data. I feel like it never has been right.
I don't know, man. I just agree with that. Let's get. I mean, we all know what City can do. I think Liverpool was like 60-odd% in fairness. So, and I think it was like 65%, and then Liverpool, City were 35%. So I don't agree with that either, because the computer can tell you what it wants based on current performances. But we all know what City can do. We've seen it time and time again. So I don't think you can ever rule them out of being in the title challenge. So I think, look, 4% for Arsenal, and they've split the rest 50-50 between Liverpool and City. I'm down. Anyway, thank you.
No, you're fine. So my opinion, you know me, I always like to try and go international and throw a bit of curveball in there for you. This one's quite cool. So, and apologies if I pronounce it wrong. So any people out there, I really don't mean to offend. Japanese player Kazuyoshi Moira has announced that he is going to continue to play at the ripe old age of 57. He will continue to play in the Japanese fourth tier in the Japanese Football League, or the JFL. He will play for a team called Atletico Suzuka. I think this makes him the oldest professional player to be playing so in world football. So thoughts on that?
I'm not gonna. It's amazing. I'm not going to try and repronounce his name. Zofshu, I'm going to call him for short, and I'm sorry. But as we know from hers last week, my pronunciation has been very poor recently.
Yeah,
Got his name right this time though. So, mate, that's incredible. I mean, I know it's the Japanese fourth tier, but still, I think to be playing at any level on a regular basis at that age is absolutely brilliant. I mean, as you know, I play 5-a-side twice a week, and then I play sevens on a Sunday, and yeah, that's tough for me at half his age, near enough. So well done to him. Well done. Good shout out that. I love that bit of trivia.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, I don't think he's long retired from international football. Could be wrong, but like he was in and around the squad for a long time in Japan, and just credit to him, and just give me your diet info because I want it. I would love
man.
playing until that age. So yeah, shout out.
Getting paid to do so as well. Incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what position he plays out of interest?
I want to say he's a forward. I think he's a striker. Yeah,
banging goals in it, 57. Let's go,
like
man.
in the 88th minute, just get that winner. So
This is off,
could be wrong though. So anybody in the comment section, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's his position. And also throwing out there to anybody who knows of any other player that may be older. In my mind, or in my eyes, I think he's the oldest out there, professional player. But prove me wrong, people. Comment below and let us know if there's anybody older out there who's playing the professional game.
Nice. My next one really is just based on Villa's poor form in recent weeks.
You had to get this in.
It's a very quick.
Can I pause 1 second? Can I pause a minute? Right, we need to say this, right? You've got this really annoying, like, new manager aura about you at the minute, and it's giving off, man. And I'm semi-jealous and I'm semi-annoyed, and I shouldn't be jealous. I'm a Villa fan. We have Unai Emery, King Unai Emery, but you've got this Ruben Amorim glow about you at the minute, and it's just annoying me.
Sir Ruben, just for the record.
Sorry, carry on.
Sir Ruben. So it's a very quick one. Obviously, Villa have had a couple of weeks of challenging games and results that haven't gone the way that you'd want them to. So all I want is, what are your score predictions, or what are your not score predictions? What are your results predictions for your next 3 games? Because you boys have got to come back with a bounce from the international break. And your next 3 games are Palace, Juventus, Chelsea. Yeah. How many points are you going to take in the league from Palace and Chelsea, and are you going to win against Juventus? Do you see that, or do you think you're dropping off a little bit in the Champions League now? Is it catching up?
I'll answer your question. Firstly, it's related, but it's going to be a bit of a moan now, and it's again about the Nations League. I'm sick to death of these stupid fixtures, because what's happened, Villa players have come back or withdrawn from the squad injured. So already our squad was starting to get semi-injured, which is going to impact on the rest of our season or the rest of our upcoming games. Ian Maatsen for Holland, Pau Torres for Spain, Onana for Belgium, Ponza for England have all had to withdraw and come back. So thanks a lot, Nations League. Thanks for derailing our season even more, which then feeds into our next set of results for you. Based on the fact that we've already got Ramsey out, Barkley, Kamara, on top of the players that I've just mentioned, I think Palace was going to be a game where I thought would win quite comfortably. I think it's going to be a test. I think Palace need to win as well. Palace needs to get points on the board.
They do, yeah.
And they really do, judging by our table of insignificant clubs teaser. So I can, it's going to sound really negative. I can see us drawing against Palace. I can see us beating Juventus because we really get going for Champions League nights at Villa Park, and I think the atmosphere and I think the occasion. I think we can beat Juventus. And Chelsea
away.
I think Chelsea will beat us. That's my honest opinion. I think it'll be a draw, win, and loss.
Fair opinion.
Yeah.
We'll revisit and see how we do from after the next week or so.
Yeah, hopefully they can prove me wrong, but we'll see. And my last opinion for you my last bit of news for you that I want your opinion on. Xabi Alonso, it's touted that he's going to leave Bayer Leverkusen at the end of the season. There's a strong possibility that he could be going to Real Madrid. There's a few links there I know there's a bit of unrest with Ancelotti. My question to you is just thoughts. Is he ready for a club of Madrid stature? Have you been impressed with what he's done? What do you think about Alonso potentially going to Madrid?
Yeah, look, I think it makes sense, doesn't it? He's sought after at the moment. He's been in lots of big clubs, firing lines when they've been looking for a new manager. Liverpool and United, I think, have had conversations with him, but he's kind of nailed his post to the mast and wanted to complete what he's doing.
Yeah.
In his current. So yeah, I think he'll do well over there.
Oh, thank you. Good opinion. That brings an end to our brief opinions. Now we move on to brief discussion. So we need to get a drum roll because it is the return of the football brief spinner. I'm now going to share my screen.
Screen share.
So those who are listening, I'm now sharing a spinner with my co-host. So hopefully he can see. Let me know if you can or you can't.
Nice.
So on the spinner, there are 4 topics. There's brief topic 1, brief topic 2, brief topic 3, brief topic 4. Bradley has the 4 topics to hand. We both know what they are. However, they have been randomly numbered 1 to 4. So I'm going to spin the spinner. Whatever it lands on, Brad will read out the corresponding headline, and we're going to discuss for the next 7 to 8 minutes that particular headline. So without further ado, I am going to hit the spinner. Are we ready? All right, we are spinning away. We are spinning. We're slowing, and we are on. Result is brief topic number 3, Bradley. Brief topic number 3. So
I've just got managers written down because I was the one that picked the numbers, so we did all this impartially and fairly. Aaron, will you explain what managers means?
So managers means, okay. So managerial sack race. Palace, West Ham, Southampton, and Wolves. By the way, not that we want, we're not wishing for managers to lose their job, but this is the world of football, and I think it's looking like out of all the teams in the Premier League, one of these managers has got to go soon enough.
Got to go.
So who do we think out of those teams that I've mentioned? So I'll read them out again for you, Brad. It was Palace, West Ham, Southampton, and Wolves. All had their difficulties this season. They've all had their difficulties. And again, not wishing to sack managers, but clubs start to panic around Christmas time. They start to think we need to really get somebody in to try and keep us afloat, stay in this league. So who do we think would be the first to go? That's what I want to try and deduce from this conversation.
Okay. If I'm being honest, and I've had a little look into this as well. So if I'm being honest, just process of elimination for me. West Ham, they're sat 14th in the league at the moment. 3 wins. I don't think Lopetegui's doing awfully now. They've got a few wins under the belt. They are starting to get a bit of traction.
Yeah.
I think he's okay. They're not in the drop zone, so I think he's okay. You've then got Palace under Glasner, who he came in last season and won 7 out of 14 games he was in charge of in the Premier League. It's a 50% win rate, and he ended the season on a real high with Palace. So far this season, though, he's only won 1. They've drawn 4 and they've lost 6, and they've got a -7 goal difference, which is poor. They're sat 18th at the moment. They are in the Carabao Cup still, and they play Arsenal on the 18th of December. So I think put a pin in that one for Glasner. I think if after the Carabao Cup, if they get kicked out the Carabao Cup, if the form, hasn't picked up and they've got a couple more wins under the belt by mid-December, I think he could be in trouble. But I think put a pin in that for now. Southampton, kind of the same reasoning. Okay, they're sat last at the minute. Got Russell Martin, 20th, 1 win, 1 draw, 9 losses, -14 goal difference. But again, they're in the Carabao Cup. They play Liverpool December 18th. So I think you've got a good cup run for a team like that. Okay, let's say they get relegated, but they win the FA Cup this season. That's a success, I would say, for a team like Southampton.
Oh yeah, massive. That'd be massive. Wait,
and then
FA Cup. You think they could win that?
FA Cup, Carabao Cup, any kind of cup run, I think. Any cup run for a team like that.
Cup run, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're in the Carabao, aren't they? Still, the FA Cup they'll be coming into as well. So yeah. I think that could save those two. Now Wolves are out the Carabao Cup, and unfortunately, I hate to say this because I like Gary O'Neill, another British manager who's been useless. But they're sat 19th, -11. I know. Again, we can go back to they sold 90 million quid worth of players and only brought in 40, and it was a lot of younger players that aren't now players, and they sold a lot of right now players, and you can use the excuses you want, but regardless, they're sat 19th, 1 win, 3 draws, 7 losses, -11 goal difference, not in the Carabao anymore. I think he's in trouble, mate. I do, and I hate to say it.
So you think out of all those teams mentioned that Wolves or Gary O'Neill at Wolves would be the first to go or the next manager to go out of that group?
I'll be surprised if he's not gone by Christmas.
Wow, okay.
Not that I want that to happen, but I will be surprised if their form continues as is. I will be massively surprised if he's still there by Christmas. I mean,
I don't think that's a bad shout because I think the last game they played was against Southampton, was a must win, and I feel like Southampton, the writing's on the wall, and maybe they've accepted it, and maybe they think that sticking with there's Russell Martin, sticking with him, maybe they think that if we get relegated, he can get us back up again. I don't quite know. I don't get the hype around him. I know there was a bit of noise around him.
I was going to ask you, where's Russell Martin from? Because he's up until my research in Southampton coming up, but I had no idea who this guy was.
Yeah, I don't really know. He was a bit of an unknown, I felt. But he came in with a bit of reputation, I believe. I think he's got a bit about him, but I've not seen or heard anything about him that makes me think, oh yeah, he's going to keep them up. Southampton look really, really weak. I agree with you. I do think he's between Southampton and Wolves. I'm probably edging slightly more toward Wolves just because it's a shame really, but Gary O'Neill is quite outspoken and not in a way that's controversial, but he sort of wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he? And I think, what owners are like, it happened at Bournemouth, and clubs like that where managers speak out about things and they think, well, you know what, we don't really want you saying X, Y, and Z, so we're going to get you gone.
Yeah, and Russell Martin actually, I've just had a look here, he does come from pedigree, so he was...
Was he Norwich? I made that up.
Yeah, Norwich, exactly. Back-to-back promotions to the Premier League. Swansea as well, where apparently he played a good style of play. So yeah, pretty impressive to be fair.
I mean, I'm yet to see it with Southampton, but I mean, these teams, I find Christmas quite interesting because teams can switch it on and off, can't they? So we'll see. But is that you saying then?
I think Gary O'Neill, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, so just to end that brief discussion, which was picked by the spinner, out of Palace, West Ham, Southampton, and Wolves, we have concluded that we think Gary O'Neill, as sad as it is, we do think you'll be next to go out of that group of teams. Please,
sorry, Gary.
Sorry, Gaz.
Yeah, please do.
That concludes our brief discussion. Next up is the final segment, the one we've all been waiting for, is our table of insignificant London clubs. Now, this has come about based on comment that Brad said, and I'm going to show you. Well, I won't show you. We can listen. Here he is right now.
Something out of all the London clubs, you're the most insignificant. Even Brighton, who aren't in
Spurs?
London, are doing more
No.
bits to you, man.
No. Hang on. You think Spurs are one of the more insignificant London clubs?
It's not the most insignificant club.
Wait. Against teams like Brentford, Fulham.
Brentford have got a story, man. Like, they've come up,
Great,
they've solidified themselves. Fulham, they were here back in a day. They were original Premier League bosses with us. Okay, let's say out of the
They're not insignificant, mate.
The big boy London clubs. Of course they are, man.
Who's a big boy London? Okay, so Chelsea, Arsenal.
Chelsea, Arsenal. I even think Brentford are above them. They've got a good story. Fulham, origin story, man of the Premier League.
So, based on that, we have come up with a table to determine who is the most insignificant London club in the Premier League and who is the most significant, of course, as well. In order to do that, I'm going to share my screen to those. If you can see that, okay, let me know if you can or you can't. How's that looking? Okay, so I'm going to do a brief run through. So at the minute we have, to zoom in, zoom out, are you okay? Can you see that?
Yeah, all gravy.
All gravy, yeah. So listeners, I currently have a table that I've made, and on it, there are 7 London teams. There are Chelsea, Arsenal, Fulham, Spurs, Brentford, West Ham, and Palace, in that order. Next to the table is a sort of thermometer, which goes from the top of significant all the way down to the bottom, which is insignificant. And in between, there are other sections which aren't to worry about right now. But yeah. So, as it stands after 11 matches played, Chelsea are top of the London clubs. Okay, so Chelsea are top. They are on 19 points, closely followed by second place Arsenal on 19, Fulham third on 18, Spurs on 16, Brentford also on 16. Then we get to the bottom 2, West Ham are on 12, Palace are on 7. So have a look at the table, Brad. Let me know what you think. Any glaring sort of things there that stick out, which obviously we know.
No, we've got the same written down here in terms of the London club's table position. So yeah, this is correct in terms of where they all sit on the table currently in the Premier League. However, I do feel we need to add in some extra factors, because it's not just about performance. This is it. It's about significance within the league.
Yeah.
So I do feel like we should maybe look to incorporate some other columns, like who would be the least missed if relegated. 2 teams on there that I wouldn't even notice if they weren't in this league, to be honest with you. Spurs, definitely one of them. And
well, this is how this came about. You said Spurs were the most insignificant London club.
Yeah, well, they are the most insignificant
London club. They're 3 points off top of this London table. They're only 3 points off.
Yeah, but that's by points, that's by wins. In terms of history, trophy cabinets, actually newsworthy stories coming out of them. Other than, the best stadium, it's just the most boring story in the world now. Great training ground. Well, you win nothing. Harry Kane, the most boring guy in the world. And he was just with you for years and still didn't win anything. So I do think there's other factors. It sounds like I'm just digging out Spurs here. I'm not like significance as well.
That's what you really think about Spurs.
I think Palace should go up because of their academy and some of the players that have come through there. They're in a great catchment area in London. They've been a feeder to the bigger clubs for a long time in terms of their academy. So they should go up. Arsenal should come down because of their fan base. No one likes them. They're very arrogant. They think that top 4 is a trophy. So for that reason alone, they should move down. Chelsea can stay up there, I think. Chelsea are quite a significant club. They've been headline grabbers for the last couple of decades in and out. So they've won multiple trophies in that time as well. Have a winning mentality, so they can definitely stay up near the top, I think. Brentford, Thomas Frank's great, significant. So yeah, we need to incorporate some others because the significant and insignificance is not defined purely by points on the board. I do not feel.
No, I agree. I think it's good to see where they stand on points and matches played. And I mean, come the end of the season, we can sort of add that around the final results. You know, there can be something else put together. But I do feel that just as it stands, though, in terms of just pure games played, pure winning, pure style, Palace are struggling, which actually quite shocked me. Because I thought at the end of last season, Palace were looking quite good. And I get your point, you know, in terms of the people's club and, you know, nice fan base. And obviously all those factors mean they are slightly more significant. However, you know, it means nothing if you're not in the league. So I think, you know, these teams need to pick up. West Ham are starting to pick up now, but Palace are getting cut adrift, which sort of worries me slightly for them. I mean, it's tight between Chelsea down to 5th to Brentford. It's pretty tight. Brentford could be really up there, like you say, with other factors included. You know, a few more points on the board, and Brentford could be the team of London.
So I'm just looking at this now. Any idea when Palace last won a trophy?
No, we're gonna have to. Any Palace fans who are watching, listening, needs to can chime in. But
I think Palace might be at the very bottom of this table. Then, to be honest with you, I think Spurs last won a trophy 2008, right, for Spurs. So I'm just kind of thinking of what else we could add in terms of trophies. Well, Chelsea obviously have won trophies recently. Arsenal won an FA Cup 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Fulham won the Championship a couple of years ago.
yeah, but Fulham are like yo-yo. They have, and
Doesn't
that's a
matter.
fair
They've won a
point.
trophy,
They use
right?
yo-yo. They're up and down, up and down. I'm like,
West Ham obviously won the Europa Mickey Mouse Donald Duck Cup.
yeah,
Brentford won a trophy in 2008, so they're on par with Spurs when they last won a trophy. Palace, man.
To be honest with you, the table actually might not
The only
be
reason
too
I
far
actually
off.
like Palace is due to Simon Jordan, to be fair, and I read his book and I've got admiration for the guy. So that's the only reason that I even really took notice of Palace. They can stay at the bottom, man.
No, I agree.
Probably.
I don't think it's too far off a representation at the minute. Maybe Brentford above Spurs, and maybe Fulham above Spurs. Maybe
See,
West
I'd
Ham
put
above Spurs. So actually, Spurs should probably be in 6th.
penultimate. I put Spurs. That's exactly what I put Spurs as. Down to trophies won. Obviously, West Ham go up due to the Europa Cup. Fulham, Arsenal, and Chelsea have all won trophies more recently, and then so that leaves Spurs and Brentford. But Brentford are just a better club than Spurs all around. Really better run, nicer managers, nicer ownership. I just like them.
They also do a thing where they wear the same kit for 2 seasons in a row to be more sustainable. Like everything that you want your
the
club to be.
opposite of what Daniel Levy is, basically monetizing the hell out of his club.
But I mean, they've got a nice stadium though. You know.
Yeah, I hope the trophy cabinet's not taking up too much space there.
You can, it's nice that you can watch NFL games there. That's more.
Haven't they got like a little F1 track or race track below as well or
Oh, I
something?
don't know. I know you can skydive. So you can what do you call it when you abseil
Abseil.
down from like the side of the stadium? It's like, who cares? Can you watch football? Everything's but. Okay, so look, this table is going to come back up every now and then, just so we can keep tabs on how these London teams are performing in the Premier League, and then obviously as well, we can also do a table to reflect sort of trophies and stadium and stuff. But I think just for the first part, as it stands, Palace are the least or the most insignificant London club, and Chelsea at the minute are the most. So as it stands, only 11 games played, and obviously there'll be other factors involved. But
I agree with top and bottom, but I agree.
yeah. So there we have it. This is now launched. It will be in and around episodes as we see fit. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on the table. Any agrees, disagrees? Do you hate it? All you London fans, do you even need a table to know who's the best team in London? I don't know. Not from the parts, but I'm sure you can tell us. Anything else you want to say on that, Brad, or we you all good?
No, I think it speaks for itself for now.
Right. So, well, thank you for the opinions and thank you for the discussion as always. Just want to say thank you again to everybody who watches or listens. We actually gained a new follower from Finland, in the capital in Helsinki, which is great. So if you're listening, hello. I don't know how you say hello in Finnish, so sorry.
I want to
Oh.
go Helsinki.
Yes, Little Britain. That got cancelled.
Oh.
And also shout out to Simon over in the UK because he keeps commenting and liking everything. He also said that he would like to hear a special on FIFA corruption. You know, you mentioned it in the last pod about maybe doing something to do with FIFA and what that entails. So we will look to make that happen at some point. We'll get a little FIFA special because I know Brad's itching to get at it, and there's a lot going on there in terms of corruption. We'll put something
Has been
together.
for years.
Yeah, we'll put something together for a special, and we'll inform you on FIFA and FIFA's nonsense. So
All
yes,
their
thank you again.
naughtiness.
Yeah, thank you again. You know, just comment, like, subscribe, share us around, and as always, pleased to brief you.
Peace out.